If you like what I do, consider joining my channel or donating to my coffee. Links in the description. When other developers were too scared to release their Metroidvanias anywhere near the gaming juggernaut that is Hollow Knight Silksong, one game's complete lack of fiscal responsibility, business savvy, and absolutely gigantic balls compelled it to launch on the exact same day as Silksong. Armed with pixel art, raw passion, and a glorious disregard for ROI, this game dared fate to take notice. That game was Adventure of Samsara. And did fate notice? Oh no. Oh dear. How could this happen? This isn't fair. Hollow Knight fans only had to wait like 7 years for their sequel. You know how long I've been waiting for Adventure of Samsara? I waited 45 years for this sequel. Wow. Now that's some next-gen graphics. Makes the upgrade from Hollow Knight to Silksong look like shit. Okay, I'll stop being a dick now. I just cannot believe Atari didn't move their release date. Was it hubris, stupidity, or some unfortunate combination of both? Whatever it was, it sucked for Adventures of Samsara, because I genuinely had fun with this game and think it deserves an audience. And that's why I'm making this video. But what even is Adventure of Samsara? An unexpected sequel to the 1980 Atari classic Adventure. You know, the game where you're literally a dot. Adventure of Samsara has you playing as the Solar Champion, a resurrected warrior blessed by some powerful sunstone that gives him magical armor. And with this magical armor, he's destined to do something. It's not clear at first, but conflict eventually shows up, and suddenly he's tasked with, checks notes, bringing balance to the multiverse. You f***ing serious? How'd a game about a dot carrying keys and a cup turn into a game about reactivating an interdimensional fortress to stop a multiversal threat? Easy answer. Who cares? That sounds rad as f***. But as rad as it sounds, does this Metroidvania about a warrior of the sun shine?
Combat.
In a word, combat in Samsara is slow. If you want a few more words, how about deliberate, committal, and surprisingly satisfying? Swinging your sword almost feels laggy, but not in a bad way. That slowness carries weight. Every attack lands with intention, and the game's enemies are clearly designed around these hefty animations. Combat isn't clunky, it's calculated. Still, I wouldn't blame anyone for calling it sluggish. It really just comes down to being a matter of taste. Samsara's combat is slow, yes, but in the right hands, it feels just right. With the generalities out of the way, let's dig into Samsara's main hook, weapon variety. The Solar Champion gets 3 tools of destruction: a sword and shield, a crossbow, and a hammer. Each has its own strengths and weaknesses, and you can swap between them with a single button. The sword and shield are the fastest of the bunch and come with a parry that's surprisingly generous. Time it right, and the champion unleashes a brutal counterattack. Very slick, very satisfying. The crossbow was probably my favorite, even though I mostly stuck with the sword and shield because I'm more of a close quarters fighter. The crossbow's range lets you pick off jabronis from a safe distance, and it comes with a stylish backdash that drops mines, perfect for punishing aggressive foes. It also has this hilariously slow charged shot that basically nukes anyone too dumb to move out of the way, which thankfully includes most of the enemy roster. The AI isn't exactly brilliant, but it's serviceable. And landing that shot always made me laugh. It reminded me of that one scene from Austin Powers.
Move! Move!
Guru.
Then there's the hammer. Man, what wasted potential. You all know me. Unga bunga all the way. You give me a big stupid weapon, I'm gonna use it. Doesn't matter how slow it is. Big club mean big damage. I don't want to hear about DPS. All I know is bonk, and that's all I care to know. So when I smack a dude with the champion's hammer and they just kind of stand there like I hit him with a pillow, it hurts. Deeply. Spiritually. Right in the loins. The hammer is weak as and doesn't feel good to use. At the very least, give me a ridiculous aerial swing. A big, dumb, deadly approach. But no, the champion throws a sickle instead, which he can also do on the ground with the secondary attack button. So why they converted my hammer smash button into another dainty sickle toss is beyond me. Anyway, my disappointment is unfathomable, and my day is ruined. Swapping weapons is fun and easy, making mid-combat change-ups or pre-fight strategizing feel natural and mindful. The game's magic system is a blast too. You charge your mana bar by smacking enemies, then press a button to cast a spell. Simple, clean, effective. Most spells are attacks that do impressive amounts of damage, but a few play support roles, like buffing your weapon or casting a damage-blocking barrier around the champion. If I had one niggle, it's that I wish I could equip more than one spell at a time. They're just that useful. In the game's defense, you can switch your weapon anytime by going into the game's menu, but if I can swap weapons so easily, why not spells too? But considering how powerful they are, I get it. A full spell loadout would absolutely break the game, which, honestly, I'm cool with. As long as I'm having fun, break away. And it's not like the game's super difficult anyway. Early bosses put up a decent fight, but by mid-game, with mid-game upgrades, I was face-tanking most encounters without breaking a sweat. My solar champion was hitting hard, built like a tank, and chugging his Estus flask. And I know what you're thinking. Easy game for babies equals bad game. Well, I don't buy that. I love a challenge as much as the next gamer, but Metroidvania's exploration is king. Those mid-game pushover bosses, that's not bad balancing. Well, it might be, but I see the easiness as a reward. You explore thoroughly, find all the cool stuff, and you get to trounce bosses at your leisure. Skip the goodies, and prepare to be trounced yourself. That's the deal. This design philosophy might not gel with every gamer, but I'd like to think that most Metroidvaniers are with me on this. But then again, I've been wrong before. Oh, and the Solar Champion has a dash dodge with iframes. I didn't realize how much I missed that until finishing Silksong. W Solar Champion. That's it for combat. Combat in Samsara might not be for everyone. It's slow, weighty, and occasionally uneven. But when it clicks, it really clicks. Between the satisfying parries, explosive spells, and weapon swapping flexibility, there's a lot to love. Sure, the hammer's a letdown and the difficulty curve leans generous, but the game rewards exploration with power, and power with style. If you're the kind of player who values intention over speed and prefers difficulty that scales with exploration, Samsara's combat delivers. W Solar Champion indeed.
Abilities, platforming.
If you thought Samsara's combat was slow and weighty, wait till you get a load of its platforming. First off, just look at him run. His stride has a kind of fuzziness to it, like he's sprinting away from a bully. Nice armor, nerd. You just wait till I tell his son what you said. I love his run. It sells the heft of the armor perfectly. Clunky footsteps, metallic clinks, the whole package. But then you see how far the champion can jump and you're like, Michael Jordan could never. His leap distance is wild, but aerial control, not so much. Once you commit to a jump, there's no turning back. The best you can do is freeze midair and drop like a rock. One of the game's main platforming gimmicks is ledge grabbing. Exciting, I know. It's a fine enough mechanic that leads to some fun traversal moments. A little finicky at times, sure, but not enough to sour the experience. One thing you'll probably notice right away. The Solar Champion is tiny on screen. This zoomed out perspective defines the entire adventure. It's not ideal for combat, harder to read enemy details or feel the weight of a clash, but it shines during platforming. You get a wide view of the level, making it easier to plan your moves and spot what's coming next. The biomes in Samsara are varied and visually interesting, but they don't do much to elevate the platforming. It's mostly the same across the board. Jump from platform to platform, grab a ledge, climb up, repeat. None of the platforming sections are gonna push your skills too hard. That said, a few biomes introduce gimmicks that help keep things fresh. The frozen aqueducts has you patching up pipes to melt frozen walls, and a late game area lets you swap between dimensions to navigate hazards. But for the most part, each biome feels mechanically similar in terms of level design and traversal. As far as abilities go, the Solar Champion keeps things pretty standard. A double jump and a grappling hook. Weapons also get traversal upgrades like the hammer's ground pound and charged attack, which break floors and walls respectively, and the crossbow's charged shot, which disables barriers. The one standout ability is the Lux Emitter, a shining orb of light that follows you throughout your journey. You control it with the right analog stick, directing it to burn thorns that block your path or jumpstart machinery to activate platforms and other environmental objects. It's a unique addition and genuinely fun to use. My only complaint? I wish it had more combat utility. You do eventually unlock a spell that weaponizes the Lux Emitter, which is exactly what I wanted, but it comes late and eats up a spell slot. Personally, I'd have preferred a passive upgrade that turned the emitter into a mana-fueled weapon. And that's it for this section. All told, Samsara's platforming is solid, if not spectacular. Functional, occasionally clever, and always carried by the champion's charming clunkiness. The traversal tools get the job done, and the Lux Emitter adds a welcome dash of creativity. It's not the most demanding platformer out there, but it's got enough personality to keep you leaping, climbing, and occasionally yelling at ledges you swore you grabbed onto.
Progression.
Samsara nails progression. As a Metroid-like, nearly every upgrade hinges on what you uncover through exploration. But it doesn't stop there. Samsara also features weapon skill trees you can enhance with currency found in chests and dropped by enemies, plus a gauntlet system filled with trinkets that act as accessories and gameplay modifiers. Let's start with the upgrades you find in the world. The champion can discover orbs that boost his max HP and MP, fruit and sap that feed a special tree to enhance flask healing and capacity, and ore that expands the number of gauntlet slots. Throughout your journey, you'll find or be gifted equipment that fits into the gauntlet. These trinkets enhance the champion in diverse ways. One boosts magic damage, another powers up the bow, and one especially broken trinket makes him invincible while healing. With 6 total slots to unlock, you can build around your playstyle in meaningful ways. The world of Samsara also supports a healthy economy. The champion can trade emeralds to upgrade his weapons at a blacksmith. Each weapon has a basic skill tree that expands as you unlock nodes and discover emerald discs scattered throughout the world. Every upgrade felt impactful. More damage, more defense, more options. They're a bit pricey though, so if you want to max out every skill, be ready to grind. And that'll do it for progression. Samsara's progression systems strike a satisfying balance between exploration, customization, and power scaling. Whether you're hunting down hidden upgrades, fine-tuning your weapon trees, or slotting trinkets into your gauntlet for that perfect build, every enhancement feels impactful. It's a system that rewards curiosity and lets you shape the Solar Champion into your own flavor of unstoppable.
Exploration.
When it comes to exploration, Samsara might play it a little too safe. It checks the Metroidvania boxes, just enough to qualify, but not enough to surprise. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm not here to be negative. I'm here to set expectations. Just because Samsara is doing the bare minimum doesn't mean it's not doing it well, nor does it mean it's boring. On the contrary, I enjoyed Samsara's exploration. It was adequate, and that's okay for a Metroidvania fanatic like myself. So, what do I mean by adequate? Basically, think about what you like in a Metroidvania's exploration. Samsara meets those expectations at a competent level. There's plenty of items to find to make your Solar Champion stronger, the world's interconnected with some intriguing shortcuts, and there are secrets tucked away for the curious. And yeah, it's all fun to experience. That's why I can't criticize the exploration too harshly. It does exactly what it's supposed to do as a Metroidvania. It just doesn't do it at a high level. Don't get me wrong, I genuinely enjoyed exploring Samsara. It gave me everything I want from the genre. But because it hits those marks in a very average way, you also get the usual average Metroidvania tropes. Backtracking is minimal and mostly used to grab upgrades, not to recontextualize biomes or unlock new traversal dynamics. And overall, the experience is exceptionally linear. Is Samsara's exploration rewarding? Well, yeah. on a base level that most Metroidvania enthusiasts will appreciate. The one standout and interesting facet of exploration involved dragons that randomly appeared across the map. It's a cool side quest, and I genuinely enjoyed tracking them down or having them pop up unexpectedly. Speaking of side quests, the game has a few, and they're all game spanning. You'll hunt down data cubes, rescue lost children, and discover bootleg tapes. These quests function like the grub quest in Hollow Knight. Return to the quest giver periodically and get rewards. I don't know, I just like these kinds of quests. The more the merrier. As for the in-game map, it falls into the usual average Metroidvania trope. Blocky, minimal, and lacking detail. But you do get plenty of custom markers to help track your progress. Bland, but functional. Fast travel starts as a waypoint system that unlocks as you find new waypoints. Then, very late in the game, you unlock fast travel between save points. I've never understood why games do this. Why give me the lame fast travel for most of the game, only to hand me the good stuff near the end? Just give me the cool fast travel from the start. And that'll do it for exploration. Exploration in Samsara won't blow your mind, but it won't waste your time either. It's a competent, familiar loop. Find upgrades, uncover secrets, poke around for side quests, and for Metroidvania fans, that's often good enough. While it rarely pushes the genre forward, it still delivers a satisfying breadcrumb trail of progress, with just enough charm and curiosity to keep you moving.
Atmosphere, narrative.
Adventure of Samsara goes hard on its retro aesthetic. From the moment you boot it up, the chunky pixel art and classic chiptune sounds transport you straight back to a simpler time. Sitting in front of your uncle's staticky CRT, joystick in hand, chasing high scores just to show your cousin who's boss. And the music, it goes even harder. There isn't a ton of it that stuck with me, but the early tracks were pure, synthesized bliss. Meditative, nostalgic, almost spiritual. I'm showing my age and bias here, but I freaking loved this game's OST. I wasn't a fan of the game's zoomed out look. It's fine, actually helpful for platforming, but I think it undercuts the visuals a bit. I loved the enemy designs and environments and would have liked to see them up closer. I'm a sucker for pixel art, and some of the smaller enemies, like zombies and necromancers, kinda get lost in the scenery thanks to the distant camera. The game's atmosphere and tone is kinda hard to pin down. Visually, it evokes nostalgia, decay, and ruin. But tonally, it's kind of a mess, but in a fun way. Most NPCs sound like they're in a Shakespearean Western, which is as goofy as it sounds. Except for the lost children. They speak like NPCs from a Souls game, each delivering a cryptic riddle to the Solar Champion, who, by the way, is a silent protagonist. But that's not a problem, because the answer to every riddle is silence. It's all just unserious and goofy. And then you layer that on top of a game with deep lore, mystical races, ancient tech, cycles of rebirth and death, a multiverse with prophecies, and you're left not knowing how to feel. And you know what? I kinda love that. It's weird in all the right ways. Makes my brain tingle. The naming convention is kinda goofy too. The armorer is named Armoristo, the weapon forger, Forgeristo, and the lady who collects memories, wait for it, Memoristo. Apparently, these names are in a language called Esperanto. I don't know anything about it or how knowing anything about it would enhance the narrative, so I'll leave that mystery to you. As for the endings, I think there might be more than one. There's an achievement that sounds like it could be tied to an alternate ending, but I'm just not sure. I missed one of the lost kids and just refused to scour the entire map to find them. Have you seen how slow the Solar Champion moves? Metroidvanias need to normalize features that help players 100% their game. And that'll do it for this section. Adventure of Samsara's atmosphere is a swirling cocktail of nostalgia, absurdity, and cosmic mystery. It's a game that throws pixelated beauty, Shakespearean cowboys, and multiversal lore into a blender and somehow makes it work. At least for me, because I'm a weirdo. The zoomed out camera dulls some of the visual magic, and the tone veers wildly between goofy and profound. But that unpredictability is part of the charm. It's a game that doesn't always know what it wants to be, but in trying everything, it stumbles into something strangely memorable. And honestly, I'll take weird and strange over polished and forgettable any day.
Final thoughts and score.
Adventure of Samsara isn't a genre-defining Metroidvania, but it is a solid one. Its slow, weighty combat won't click with everyone, but if you're patient, there's real satisfaction in its parries, spells, and weapon swapping. Exploration and platforming rarely push the envelope, yet the game's quirky atmosphere, great progression systems, and retro vibes carry it further than you'd expect. It's rough around the edges, occasionally uneven, but also charming in ways that only a weird little Metroidvania can be. I award Adventure of Samsara a 7 out of 10. Adventure of Samsara is available on PC, Switch, and PlayStation 5. You can pick up a PS5 physical copy over at Atari's official website. I played the game exclusively on the Steam Deck with 0 issues, and therefore give it a Steam Deck rating of verified.
Fair placement.
If you've paid attention to the review, I think it's pretty obvious where Adventure of Samsara is gonna go in the tier list. Adventure of Samsara praises the sun in the C tier. I'm sorry. I really tried not to do a Solaire joke. I tried so hard. Adventure of Samsara is a solid Metroidvania worth any Metroidvania's time, but it leans heavily into the average Metroidvania tropes. Bland exploration, backtracking that lacks meaningful payoff beyond upgrades, and a level of linearity that dulls the sense of discovery. There really is a lot to like here for genre fans, so don't let Silksong bury this one. This game has a whole lot of heart and solar. A lot of heart and